The city recently cited Laguna Run Complex in New Orleans East for numerous violations among its 400-plus apartments. State and local housing agencies have known about the problems here and at other properties, but little has been done to hold the ownership accountable.
The city of New Orleans has really started more heavily inspecting properties throughout the city.
Mayor LaToya Cantrell marked Fire Prevention Week in October by noting steps the city had taken to improve conditions at Laguna Run. A sweep at the property in September found every fire extinguisher was past its expiration date and the fire alarm system wasn't working.
We saw that they needed an upward of over 300 fire alarms in that building, in that facility, in that apartment complex where our residents live.
Public records WDSU has obtained show far more problems at Laguna Run: mold, leaky windows, broken appliances. 2 public housing agencies documented problems here and at 4 other complexes under the same ownership: Laguna Creek, Laguna Reserve, Carmel Brook, and Carmel Springs. The Housing Authority of New Orleans and the Louisiana Housing Authority provide rental assistance to qualifying residents at the 5 complexes. Each agency inspects units before residents can move in, and the apartments are then inspected annually or every other year if there are no problems. Inspections revealed multiple problems at Laguna Run and the 4 other complexes, where Hano provides vouchers for a total of 435 apartments. The agency wouldn't disclose what they actually found, citing federal law, but they did report 658 failed inspections at the 5 properties this year through early October. That number includes re-inspections, meaning that some apartments failed more than once. What it doesn't include are the 310 times Hano couldn't gain access to a unit for inspection. The problems aren't limited to voucher recipients. Eric Brown lived in Laguna Reserve from 2007 until this past August. He says conditions at his apartment required him to seek medical attention, so he alerted the property manager.
And it came there and they sprayed the Kills, a can of Kills, and that was it. And the mold just kept coming back, so.
Brown was offered another apartment at the complex, but refused it when he wasn't allowed to inspect it first. Since his lease expired in August, he's gone back and forth from living with a relative to staying at a shelter.
There's nothing else I could do.
The 5 complexes are owned by Rhodium Capital Advisors in New York. All 5 properties are in City Councilwoman Cindy Wynn's district.
There's property owners that has been very abusive in reference to not taking care of their property, and we're not going to tolerate that in the city of New Orleans.
Hano and state housing officials have a way to compel landlords to make needed repairs. It's called abatement and allows housing agencies to withhold rent payments until problems are corrected. If enough units have to be abated, housing agencies can sever their contract with the property owner. But records show Hano and the state haven't used their full abatement power. The Louisiana Housing Authority placed 4 units at Laguna Run under abatement in 2018. The law allows the agency to back out of contracts with properties that have 3 abatements. The state didn't opt out of its voucher contract at Laguna Run because it was transitioning to new ownership, according to a spokesperson. Records show Rhodium had owned the property nearly a year when the 4th abatement went into effect. Hano has backed out of contracts at the complexes under scrutiny, but only for individual units. There's no apparent threshold that will place an entire property off limits for Hano vouchers.
No one should be living in that kind of condition at all.
So why hasn't the city taken more drastic steps to put these problem properties out of business?
We're in the midst of a housing crisis, and when we work to shut down properties, basically we're kicking family out. And to me, that's not a win-win situation. I'm with the mindset that I will work with all property owners.
WDSU Investigates learned about the failed inspections from the housing authorities through public records requests. But that information isn't being shared with the city, and the city hasn't been asking for it. Officials now say they're going to look for ways to collaborate on enforcement. Meanwhile, residents are left in limbo.
All of my property that was lost.
Joshua Akeem is fighting his eviction from Laguna Run, which he says happened after he withheld a portion of his rent to pay for mold remediation at his apartment. In court records, he claims his belongings were taken from his unit and placed in a dumpster, even after he made good on what he owed in rent.
It's not just myself, I'm speaking today, but there's other residents that are scared to come forward in lieu of being put out the same way I was.
Within days of the city sweep at Laguna Run, Rhodium replaced its property manager at all 5 complexes. That company, Dasman Residential of New York, did not respond to interview requests. The city gave the owner 30 days to address the long list of problems, and the mayor's office says more have been found, including sewage backing into apartments. There's been no response from the owner to explain why they let conditions get so bad. Next Tuesday at 6, my colleague Sherman DeSalle will have more on this story. We'll hear from a Laguna Run employee who says he brought the concerns he had to management and they were ignored.
I'd say every building has mold growth. I mean, some of them are much more horrible than others.
It's a serious problem. So Greg, do city leaders have any specific plans right now to be more aggressive about tackling these problems?
The mayor's office reached us late today to say that they conducted more inspections yesterday. They found more problems. The next step would be fines and possible liens if they don't correct those.
All right, Chief Investigative Reporter Greg LaRose, thank you. Now